My parents basically said to me, you have 6 months to make this work, and then you're getting a full-time job. I saw my income triple within a month. I told them I wanted to start a clothing company. They all kind of laughed at me. That was where I had my aha moment that this is not where I'm supposed to be.
Sometimes people just need to hear that. Like if someone's not cheering for you, like they're not your friend.
The amount of comments I had on this video from people being like, Blake, we know you hate these. This is not you at all. That was the last time I will ever take a deal that does not align with my brand. It was not worth it. I will never do that again.
Welcome to More to Say. I'm Amber Vinsbox, founder of LTK, the company that turned creator influence into a global economy. On this show, I sit down with the voices shaping what's next, from trailblazing creators and founders to media leaders and cultural catalysts. We talk candidly about building brands, making hard decisions, and staying relevant in a world that never stops moving. So if you want to understand where business, influence, and culture are going and how to lead the way, well, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
Blake is a woman in her early 20s. She went to school in Illinois, made a radical shift, decided to go to fashion school, moved to New York. And over the last year, she's grown on LTK from 50 followers to now 20,000. I think about these people as these are not just followers. These are people who have come to find Blake to follow her fashion trends and advice on social media. I started following her, I think in October, and she was around 30,000 followers. She's now at over 100,000, and she's really become a mainstay. I wanted Blake to join. She's wise beyond her years. The way that she's thinking about content to me is a perfect example and kind of reference point for, I think, this coming year, but probably seasons to come and beyond. She's of a new generation and thinking of things entirely differently when it comes to content creation, and she's cutting through. Blake is just a wonderful person to be around. I resonate with her personal style, but what I love about this episode is she gives very specific, very tactical things that she has done in her business in the last few months to grow her business. I don't think I've ever had anyone on who has been this specific with the actual recipe of what they're doing. She's insanely generous with her information and her helpfulness. She's a wonderful person. Please follow Blake. She's an amazing LTK follow. She's, of course, across social media, but this is someone who you will continue to hear more and more about, and I think you're going to love this episode. So here we go. Here's Blake. Blake, I'm so excited to have you on the More to Say podcast because I'm a super fangirl, and I went and looked back and I started following you actually October of last year. So we're like, in my mind, we're new digital friends.
Yeah.
But whenever people ask me like, who should I be following on LTK? Who should be following on social? I'm like, you got to go follow Blake Evin. And I think of you as kind of like, you're in your early 20s, but I think of you as like the older sister who like has all the information and is like giving the scoop. Like there's an educational component to what you're doing. And I'm so excited to kind of peel back and get to know you a little bit more and your approach, because I think that it's very of this moment. Like in the last few months, I think you've defined for me this new category that's taken off just in a tremendous way. Like quick stat for a second. I was looking even at just your LTK, which I mean, everyone, this is obvious, but like, this is not just like a social media following. This is like people who have downloaded the app. They have come and chosen to follow you for your recommendations and guidance. In the last, in less than a year, you've gone from 51 followers to over 18,000 followers. And I think
crazy.
of like, yes, like each one of those people saying, I found Blake, I know Blake, I want her recommendations. So I want to rewind with you for a second.
Yeah.
You're just out of fashion school. Was this like the known path, or what did you go to school for?
So I actually went to Indiana University first. I was a party girl. I was going out 5-6 nights a week, having the time of my life. Wasn't really thinking about the future as much. I always knew that I would end up in fashion. I just didn't know how. So I was sitting with a group of my friends one morning talking about life. I told them I wanted to start a clothing company, and they all kind of laughed at me. And that was where I had my aha moment that this is not where I'm supposed to be. One, they weren't true friends, but two, I can't do what I want to do in this school and in this environment. So I transferred to FIT. That was a crazy story. I actually had to beg them to let me in because I was waitlisted. So I went into the admissions office, spoke to them maybe 3 times. They took me off the wait list. And then I just started posting content about my transfer experience. I didn't think it would turn into anything. My hope was that if I ever did want to have a clothing company, that I would have the audience so it would be a little bit easier to launch. But I fell in love with the posting. I fell in love with creating content. And so I just started doing it.
Okay, I love this story about you realizing that these weren't your friends, which is, it's just, I like want to teach my daughter to make great decisions like that. My oldest is only 10, but I'm like, when she grows up, I hope that she can decipher of like, these are people who are going to be part of my future and these are not.
It was such a clear moment.
Amazing for you
Such a
speaking
clear
up in that
moment.
way. And then also just making like, that's a really big choice. Like you've gotten into Indiana, you've been going to school there, and to say like, actually, I need to change path right now. That to me actually is like an early signal that you will be wildly successful because
Thank you.
That's fearless, honestly. At FIT, so you went there for the clothing line. Was there any sort of digital media program?
So I didn't do digital media, but my major was international trade and marketing. So I was learning more about how to start a company overseas and the best way to engage in trade and tariff and just fashion law in general. So I was learning about Incoterms, just all these shipment laws that you wouldn't know that you have to know about, how to find a warehouse. And again, I thought that that's what I was going to do. I was going to start a company, but I actually just loved posting so much. So now I've put that on hold. I don't have any plans to do that anytime soon, but that's what I learned at school. But then I also did trend forecasting as a minor, basically. So I was learning everything about how to examine a runway, pick out trends, and I had a few internships in that too.
Okay, because that's what I'm seeing pull through right now. And I looked at your bio does say like trend forecaster.
Yeah.
And that's definitely like, it seems like you have been certainly trained in that. What's your creative process? And for those of you who don't yet follow Blake, there's two sides of you, I think, within your media. One is like this very curated, that my millennial self totally loves. That's just like an elevated, like true perspective on fashion when you go to your account. And then there's also all of your videos, which is, I think, what a lot of people know you for. And they're just like, they're quick hit, like you're identifying a trend or a haul and you're quickly like flashing through that type of content. And it does seem like you've been trained in it. What's your creative process?
So there's 3 websites that I used. One's WGSN, one is Vogue Runway, and then one is Fashion Snoops. So I am constantly checking that to see if anyone else has reported on trends. So then I could go back and look at the runways, see if there's anything that I'm missing. Because sometimes I'm trying to post 3 times a day. So sometimes I'll run out of ideas. So I definitely have to go double check and see if anyone else has picked up on a trend that I haven't. But I spend most of my time on Vogue Runway. And I just sit and I go through runways, see what's going on right now. And then I have to go back onto Instagram and Pinterest to try to find all of the pictures. That's actually what takes the longest because I primarily do green screen content. So finding someone that's actually wearing the trends before the trends are a big thing can take me hours every single day. That's basically what I do.
So do you have a team working with you? Or is this you?
It's just me.
Oh my
So
God.
I have my management. I'm signed with Outshine. They are amazing. I always say they're not a traditional management company. Like they're very involved in everything I do, which I love. I'm texting my manager every 2 seconds and she's helping me more with like deciding what my priorities are for the day and scheduling. But I am the one that's doing all the research and putting everything together myself. I always say it would be nice to have someone to help me, but since I am so trained in it, it's sometimes difficult for me to give that away to someone else because they might not have the same eye in a sense.
I think staying close to it, especially in like the beginning of your career, is so important. But even later on, I love how you've been able to delegate the work that can sort of help to be almost like a business partner in that sense. Do you set a content calendar and have sort of like posting goals and cadence? It sounds like
I have just in my notes app. I have every Sunday, I write down what I want to post for the week just so that I have a rough outline. And then obviously if things come up, then I'll post them. But I try to stick to the 3 every single day. And before each month, I also write down like what I think is going to come up that month, just so that I have little things to look forward to and overall themes that I'm going to play into, even if I'm not making every single post about it.
People often ask me like, don't you have to have a lot of money to start being a creator because you're like buying clothes? And that was one thing that stood out with me is like you're driving an insane sales volume every month, but actually we're seeing your head on content.
Right.
And I was thinking, I was like, this girl has got it down because you're not actually even most cases like purchasing the clothing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I just had this conversation with a friend who was like, I don't know how to afford all of this clothing. And I'm like, you should do green screen content because I don't have to actually own the clothing to talk about it. So I could pull the pictures of someone else and it still looks super curated. So it doesn't matter if I own it or not. Of course, I mix in a try on haul here and there and I want people to see everything in person. But it's really being able to talk about things without actually owning it is what has made the biggest difference in sales for me.
When did you shift from this like transfer real life content into becoming like a true kind of fashion trend expert?
It was about November 2024. It was a month before I graduated. I was sitting down with my friend Hunter. His name is Health by Hunter. Everyone should follow him. He's great. But I was talking to him. My parents basically said to me, you have 6 months to make this work, and then you're getting a full-time job.
To make content creation work.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, if you want to do this full-time, we of course want to support you in the best way we can. But after 6 months, you're off the payroll. You're doing everything on your own. So whether you can make content, that's great, but you're getting a full-time job if you can't. So Hunter has been doing this for years. I was saying to him, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I wasn't making any money. And he was watching me manually DM my links to every single person that would comment. And he said to me, I don't know what you're doing. Like, there are apps that automate this for you. You need to download one. He set everything up for me. I was still at this point maybe posting 1 time a day. It wasn't the 3 times that I do now. I saw my income triple within a month. And I was not posting the way I am now. So that was just a crazy wake up where, like, if I actually put the time and effort into this, I can do this forever. So I'd say by March, I fully had my whole strategy. Affiliate became the core of my business, and it was amazing. And so that's when I really started putting in the effort, and that's where I saw the growth.
So one of the things that you mentioned, for people who don't know, you probably for example, on Instagram, you'll see where people will say, comment for links, and that'll be sent out to you. So LTK actually has it built into whenever you post on LTK, you can pick whatever code word you want someone to comment. And when you share that post to Instagram, then people can comment that thing, and we on your behalf for free will send messages out to your followers. And like you're talking about, when it's especially in the hundreds or it's in the thousands, it's not something you can like manually do. And so having that automated becomes so important. Just for people who weren't aware of kind of that back end of things, that's one of the automations I think that makes, there's actually, I think, a lot of automations right now behind the scenes that aren't talked a lot about. But that one's a really important one. You've talked about kind of like, your monetization journey, and about like, what are your kind of like your thought or your perspective on earning a commission on sales, brand deals, other types of projects? Like, how do you approach that?
When I first started, I was involved in a lot more brand deals because I wasn't making money. So I wanted to make an income. But now I basically just do affiliates, and then I only work with a company if I really, really love them or I think it's going to further my brand's agenda. I'm very selective. I always say I don't care how much money a brand's offering if I don't love what they want me to promote, which is where I definitely got messed up a little bit in the beginning. But because of affiliate, I make a consistent income, and I just look at brand deals as an added bonus and commission as the foundation of my payment.
There's a freedom to that when you're able to choose, whoever you're going to be talking about, and to be able to, and honestly, that's the sign of a true business. Someone asked me the other day, like, okay, well, if someone, doesn't have followers in the millions, like, is it even possible to make money these days? And I was like, well, let me tell you about a little girl named Blake. Like, for example, because I think about, on social media, I've seen you grow from like, I want to say you're around like 30,000 followers or so when I started following you, and then now over 100. But I'm like, so you have such a dense audience that is so loyal, and they're coming back, and you have the series, like the Zara hauls every Friday that everyone knows about. I think it's like Sundays, maybe is like what I'm buying, or like what I wish I could buy right now. And they're bringing people back, and things have changed so much on social media to where it's hard to retain that audience. How is it that what are you doing within your strategy to keep people like seeing your content frequently?
I post very specific edits for whatever you have coming up. So whether you're going to Courchevel, you need help packing for Aspen, maybe you have a winter birthday, I make very specific curated edits for every single occasion so that people have to come back if they want to dress up for this occasion. It's not like they're just being told that they need to buy another piece that they're never going to wear in their closet. They almost believe that, oh, if I'm going on this trip, I have to own this piece. And so then they buy it for the trip.
Totally. So it's almost like they're like recall in their brain of like, I need to go back to what she's saying. And I have done that exact thing. Go back to your parents for a second. I love that they kind of set the boundaries for you. My parents did a similar thing. My dad said, like the day I graduated from college, he was like, and we're done.
Yeah.
He was like, you can live here. You can eat whatever food's in my pantry. And do you?
Yeah.
And so I was very motivated to find a way to make money and move out of the house, which I need to now do with my children because I was motivated and I found a way very quickly to make things happen. Tell me kind of about your parents' like approach and just perception too of do they understand what your job is?
They are the most supportive parents in the entire world. My mom specifically, every second of the day, I get a text from her like, oh my God, so-and-so commented on your post, or did you see this? Or she takes everything super personally, like whenever someone comments. She's super involved. My dad also, he's been helping me a lot with like the money aspect and trying, because no one teaches you about behind the scenes that when you're a content creator, maybe you have to open an LLC or an S Corp. And then you also, like you're paying taxes on some of the gifts and you don't know who has your W-9 through your management or who you gave it to in the past. So he has been very helpful with that. But when I first graduated, they said to me, you have 6 months. Originally, the only thing they helped me with after graduation was rent. So it was really, you just have rent for 6 months and then you're completely done. But everything else was already on me. And obviously, like if I started doing well and they saw that it was going to become a career, they of course would have continued to help me until I could do it on my own. But it was more just to give me that motivation that like you're on your own. But I respond very well to that pressure. So I was like, I'm going to do this. And again, by March, I was totally fine. And then I started paying my rent in July. And now it's really nice when like it's a Valentine's Day today and then they give me Advil and the little things that I don't want to buy for myself. Like that's the only way they support me in that way. Like really the little sweet gifts, you know what I mean? But no, it's just me now.
Yeah. How have your friendships changed? Because you noted that kind of realization when you were at Indiana that like these weren't my people.
I could tell you that every person that didn't believe in me is now coming back to me trying to pretend that we've been best friends for years. And I'm like, I don't know about that one. But I think the best for me has been my boyfriend. He met me when I had 4,000 followers. And that's when it's borderline cringy and everyone's like, what are you doing? And he just believed in me from the day that I met him. And I think that was the strongest relationship I got out of it because he really was there on the days where I was upset that I wasn't invited to things or that I wasn't getting recognized when I was putting in so much work. So him and then a few other friends that really, my two best friends also when I first started, I found that the best way to get my content to do well was to send it out to friends. So I would have them comment within the first 10 minutes of posting something just in the beginning because you really need that momentum. So my two best friends, Alex and Sophia, I would send them every single post. They were the first two comments on everything. I think it helped me really see who my true friends were and the ones that weren't going to get annoyed with me for asking for favors in the beginning. And I definitely have made amazing friends throughout the way. I hear a lot of people say I don't meet people in this industry that are real. And I do feel that I have found some really amazing people at events that I go to.
I was going to say, I actually, and maybe it's just because of the community that we attract, but I actually feel like I find like very real people who are very hardworking people, like in this space. Like someone asked why we do Fashion Week stuff. And I was like, well, we do it for the community. Like we've always done it for the community. We're not selling clothes. Like we're not here to do that. But we've, since 2011, we have had an event at Fashion Week. And the first time I remember it was like Kiara from, the Blonde Salad. And it was like Sincerely Jules. And it was the first time we're all in a room and like all met each other and friendships spark. And then you just, you build on your career and you learn from each other. And so it's interesting. I guess from the outside looking in, it can be hard to understand because what we do online is not necessarily like who we are as a person. I was laughing last night because I wore these little like kind of panty things, and I was like, let me tell you what I'm not wearing around Dallas.
Sick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun for a fashion party, but I'm like, no one at home is going to see me like dressed like this, but here I can. And like, this is the appropriate place to do it.
Yeah.
It's fun, but we have, our business lives, but I find that I end up next to very hardworking people who've also like earned their place in the room.
Yeah, it's like the more you're surrounded by these people, the more inspired you are and you can help each other. So I do feel most of my content friends, like we do sit down, we share with each other, like so-and-so reached out about this event, you should reach out to them too. Like we really do try to push each other to make sure we can all get invited to the same things. It's not a competitive environment. I know there are competitive environments, but mine is definitely more like, let's be the best versions of ourselves and let's help each other get there.
I love your friends that were the commenters. I'm like, those are some good people you found.
Even my sister's best friend, Lauren, every single time, still to this day, if she sees an ad that I'm in, she's the first person that sends it to me, comments. Like just the people that have been there from day one are the ones that you just remember forever.
It's so important. This is a random story, but yesterday I woke up early and I read this whole dissertation about AI and I candidly found it depressing. Yeah. And then I got in this like super weird funk and I went to GPT and I was like, help me out of this funk. Like I've got a big day today. I need this attitude straightened out really quickly. And it was like, you're here to be helpful and that's it. And I was like, oh, I actually it like released me of having to be all of these other things. I was like, if I can show up to every meeting and just be helpful, then like I've achieved it. And I think about you and your content in that way of like, you're approaching as like, I'm providing a service, I'm being helpful. And it sounds like your friendships kind of align with that as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love chat's the best thing in the world. I'm like, it's my therapist.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it is for so many of us.
And it's crazy how well it actually knows you. Like it'll say to me, like, you're feeling this because of this that happened to you in your life. I'm like, how do you even know that? But like, because I guess I've written it at some point, but it knows everything.
Oh my gosh. I love that piece of it. And I actually asked it some questions like that. And then I shared it back to my therapist and I was like, how do you feel about this? She was like, I'm out of a job.
Yeah. I'm out of a job.
Fully agree with this entire like assessment of what's going on. What's the like, I don't know, what are some things you're asking GPT lately or talking to it about? Like, what are your like latest queries look like?
Well, I will say, I get very anxious watching TV. Like I have to know what happens next or I get emotionally attached. So if you were to go in, you would see that's all I'm asking chat about is like what happens next. And then it's like, I don't know that I should be spoiling it for you, but I need it to be spoiled or I can't watch it. But in a business sense, I like to talk to chat about trends that I'm missing. So let's say I see on Vogue Runway that, I went to the Christian Cowan show last night. Fantastic. But there were a lot of jackets that had frog closures. So let's say I wanted to make a video about frog closure jackets. I would then text chat today and say what other shows are showing frog closures so that I don't have to manually sit and go through every single show to find a show that has it.
Smart.
So it'll say to me like, maybe it was Prada, maybe it was Balenciaga, go back to this exact year, this date, go look for that. And then that's how I use chat in a business sense. It just helps me cut my time in half.
I love it. I think by the time this episode is out, our chatbot will have launched in the app. And so maybe that can be helpful for you too, is like going in and actually, because for Pillbox hats, you've worn them. I know like Ashley Provost is another one I follow who's worn them. And then like a lot of my favorite European creators have. And I have like sat on it for a while because it's an aggressive move in some senses, like to wear a hat out. That's a different thing. But I went through and I started searching like, show me everyone who's wearing Pillbox hats. And I kind of went down this whole like, rabbit hole of inspiration. But I think that'll be helpful for like the layman of us out there that are like, following the trends you're talking about.
Yeah, the tech's amazing on LTK.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it really is.
Last year was this year of just like, we launched so much stuff and just kind of we're like reset, rebuild for the next like mini chapters. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
And even the brand profiles, they're so helpful too.
Oh, good.
Like for me, especially when I want to go find someone who's wearing a certain brand's things, like I love Below the Belt. It's nice to be able to go to Below the Belt's profile and see who's actually wearing it and take screenshots from that.
Yes. Okay. I love the pages too for that reason. I feel like, so I recently just started buying aloe and I would see people around wearing it, artsy creators wearing it. And I was interested in the brand, but I like buy a full look.
Yeah.
And so I when they launched their page, I went and I both like found creators that they thought were cool that now I think are cool and follow them. But I was able to see like what is like, it's almost like the best curation of that brand.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now well, I say now, still you go to a retail site and it's just products on grids on pages and you just spend your time like some sort of research bot, like going through.
Yeah.
And I love this version of shopping because it's like you can go to the brands that you love, like even Zara. Like I'll go to the Zara page and it's like, these are basically all the coolest things and the coolest people wearing the Zara stuff and you can like quickly get it. I'm glad you like it. I think it's a totally
amazing.
different way to shop. And by the way, the creator does get all the commission. So even though it's like the brand has it there. So we've approached social very differently. We're like, we think of LTK as this very high trust environment. And like, how do we not break the trust? Because you have to be invited to be on LTK. There's a invitation process to be able to publish. And so you already have that professional level creator that's there. And on the brand side, like 1 in 5 searches have a brand name. And so we're like, okay, we should give brands the chance to be a part of this like discovery experience. But we also don't want, candidly, like brands are just known for using a lot of AI and obviously they're talking about themselves. And so we're like, okay, well, what if they can only use what other people are saying about them to curate their pages? So I'm so glad that you're liking them.
Yeah,
and
it's
calling
amazing
them out.
because it's like true testimonials.
Yes, exactly.
Love it.
It's like shopping through testimonials. And you can also see how many creators are like talking about that brand. So when it has the creator count, that's like how many are actively talking about the brand, which I think is another point of validation. Like, have you ordered stuff before online that you thought was going to be like real or great and it shows up and it's bizarre?
Oh my God. Like I love Skims, but I ordered the Skims holiday collection in December. I went back very quickly and I'm like, I wish I would have read reviews maybe.
Yeah. Yes. And that's the thing I think with creators is what you talked about earlier, like you're not going to accept something that doesn't work for you. It's not like building your brand. And I always think like if I tell someone that this, like, for example, this mascara is amazing and it shows up and it's not, you are never trusting me again. Like our friendship is off.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's real like guardrails to this. It's changing the way people shop entirely, of course. Who are you following for inspiration? And by the way, I also am a Vogue runway user. So I like have the Vogue app. I've like downloaded it because I just go to the shows and then I will just, honestly, I don't really have time at this point in my life to like actually go to shows. And so I find it very efficient to just like flip the looks, screenshot the stuff I like. I save it. But like beyond that, are there certain people that you're inspired by?
I love Shea Marie. I always have. She's incredible. Also love on LTK that you get access to some limited edition content. Like
no, it is. It's like exclusive content. Like
like exclusive content that maybe she posts on her story and then it lives on LTK, so no one else could see it again unless you have LTK, which is great. But I love her. I love Leonie Hahn.
Yes.
I love Hannah Schoenberg. Those are probably my top 3 favorite creators. Leonie is just so fun. I love her editorial content and just how over the top glamorous she is. I love the old world glamour.
She's full all in. Y'all remind me of each other. So we, like years, I mean, over a decade ago, we launched in Germany and I was at a brand dinner that we were having with creators and Leonie was on the brand side and she was sitting there with her now fiance and they're working together and she, she's funny. She's like super like just direct and hilarious. And she was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a creator. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do this. And she's just like very direct. And then like she is just exploded. It's amazing. She fully did it. Like, yes, like fully committed. Xenia was another German girl that was like, I'm going to do this. And just like, and I think it takes that level of confidence and just commitment to make it happen.
Yeah. It's like trusting yourself and not caring what anyone else thinks about you. Because I definitely, when you have that realization, like this is the time to do it, you definitely do get a lot of people saying, I don't know why you would do that. That's crazy. But if you really trust yourself, your opinion's the only opinion that matters. And it's crazy what it can bring you.
Like the personal confidence becomes so important because I get a real sense of confidence from honestly all your content. And I love kind of the pushback, like the whole sweater thing that was like you're wearing jeans and a sweater and you're like, I am. And it's like a fur coat.
Yeah, always. I'm wearing it underneath the fur coat. So like it's the same thing.
But I love the like, I don't know, what would you describe that as? Like it's a cute, different personality that it's like irreverent, I guess.
Yeah.
In so many
ways.
It's
like classy but sassy.
Yes.
I used to always do that. I would show up to high school and everyone was wearing sweatpants and I'd be in a full-blown, my boots would make noise in the hall and everyone would look at me like, what are you doing? We're at high school. And it was just like, I don't really care. This is who I am. I love dressing this way, and so I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah, that confidence pulls through. There's a lot of things. I love how you shared the specific things that you've done that have gone so right. Were there any kind of like fall off the cliff moments? Yeah. Yeah. What went wrong?
Oh, I took an ad early on when I wasn't making money. And because I liked the brand, but I hated the product. And it was a pair of sneakers that had one detail on it that I actively spoke about not liking this detail and still took the deal. I had maybe 20,000 followers at the time. The amount of comments I had on this video from people being like, Blake, we know you hate these. Like, you have posted other videos talking about how you don't like this detail. Like, this is not you at all. And they're like, I'm sorry, like this video, this really misses. And that was the last time I will ever take a deal that does not align with my brand because it was not worth it. I felt like my followers didn't trust me for a little bit because I really had to win them back and go back to my original, no, I don't like charms on things. Mm-hmm. So I will never do that again.
It's a good learning. The trust right now, I think we're kind of in a trust crisis, like as a culture. And so I see like trust just being so thematic. It's at least where we are like very heavily focused of being a human led place where you know that these are real people that have something real at stake, like your reputation for kind of recommending things that you truly believe in. And so that's why we're doing this stuff on the brand side of like, it has to be a third party endorsement. It can't be what you're talking about with yourself. But the trust element and your attention to that, I think, is important for everyone to hear and to think through. And I think it's also the way your approach through, hey, I'm going to build my business by talking about whatever it is that I like, and brand deals come afterwards. That also gives you the ability to build that trust and not be beholden to just the offers that land on your doorstep.
I almost think of it as if the brands that I love are just putting money behind my statements. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not me discovering a new product and then showing people. Like, I just did an ad with Commando yesterday. And like, my loyal followers know the only leggings I wear are Commando. So when they see that, they know I actually do really care about this product. It's really just the company is putting money behind my statement. Mm-hmm. It's not so much me advertising something I've never actually worn before. I do care about it a lot. Yeah.
On the brand side, that's a shift that's happening as well. So in the fall, we released, like say in the fall, like winter, like at end of November, we built all year this whole new platform for brands. Totally not a renovation, like something totally separate and new. And the whole thought behind this was we're going to give them every single workflow tool that they have needed. So creator discovery, the full discovery around what who they're talking about, their sales volume, all what the content looks like, and on what platforms.
You guys email tips all the time too, which is huge.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's helpful. On the brand side, I was going to say though, we give them so they have their leaderboard and they can see any given time live who's talking about them. They can search it and sort it by like whether it's engagement or sales or traffic and that. And we're actually seeing that the vast majority of brand deals are now coming from brands just doubling and tripling down on people who genuinely loved and chose their product and then are doing well with that. Like their audience is responding. And that's actually, I pointed out because it's a huge shift in the way that this works. Like people have historically thought like, oh, I won't talk about them so that they will then want me to talk about them. And it's safe for the brand at this point. Like you said, like that was so safe for Commando because they're like, we know she loves it. Like this will be very much an authentic endorsement, but worth pointing out that that's like a change that we have seen in the last couple of months. And as a creator, like if you want to be working with the brand, the number one thing that you can do is be talking about that brand.
Yeah, definitely. Like I rather try a product for 6 months and then do an ad for it versus just agreeing to work with someone that I've never actually promoted or just discussed in any of my videos before. The
industry is changing for sure. When you think about your future, like what's in mind for you? Like what are you whiteboarding? What are you scheming in your notes, talking to GPT about? Like what's on the plans?
So in this past September, I did a product collaboration. It was my first one. I did a jewelry collection with Anita Barisha for At Present. And it was awesome. I got to design 3 pieces, 2 earrings, 1 necklace. I would love to do more product collaborations, especially since I started this hoping that I could have a brand one day, but I love posting. So I'd rather just work with another company to create my dream line maybe versus actually doing that full time because I do love reviewing and trend forecasting. So I hope this year I could do a Blake X Revolve edit. That would probably be my dream at the moment. But I also posted a video a few weeks ago about how the snow boot market is very off. So I would love to get into there too.
Tell me more.
Well, snow boots, they're so chunky and they're great when you're on a mountain, but there's no city snow boot. You can't walk through the city in a moon boot. You slip everywhere. They're just too big. You can't walk miles in them. So I posted a video asking if anyone else has a recommendation of a snow boot that's actually refined, maybe the same way my boots are a square toe right now. Like I would just like this, but with fur on the inside, and that works on the snow. And no one has done it before. So I posted a video about that. I got so many DMs from people that I have looked up to for years being like, I'll invest right now if you do it, which is just crazy. I didn't realize that everyone else kind of had that same thought. So I've been talking to my team. That's why I say they're more than just a management company, because they really do. Like if I have a dream, they want to do whatever they can to bring it to life. So I met with them. We're trying to figure out what can be done, whether it's me collabing with a company or me starting my own someday. It's just the seasonal product is so difficult. So we'll see what I end up doing. But I would definitely love to maybe do snow boots. I also love furs. I love blazers. So collaborating with a company to make my own line someday, that would be the end goal.
I think that's the smart approach, and the way that you're thinking through like wanting to continue to be a content creator. I think of when I think that's totally the right approach. And like other people are experts at this stuff. They've already got their supply chain down. Like they're managing the people. You don't have to do that piece of it. Where I've seen creator brands go wrong in the past is they take their eye off of what
got them there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And all of a sudden it's like, no, I have this line. And especially if you're doing in-house, it will take all of you. Like you are now running a business that requires people and inventory and shipping and like it's a lot.
And it wouldn't let me do what I love.
Exactly.
And I always say Helsa and SRG, Sophia Richie's new line, or Camila Coelho, they all have these collaborations with Revolve. I don't know the full extent to what the agreements are, but I do know that they're able to do everything that they want to do. They just have their own brand that Revolve technically owns, but they can design everything. And they have the Revolve team it seems to me that the Revolve team is manufacturing everything. That's how I would probably want to do it.
I think that's a smart way, because your unique differentiator is being able to reach people constantly. And the crazy thing about being a creator is like you need time in front of the camera, and there's only so much time in a day. So no, you've got the absolute right approach. Okay, what's the last thing that you bought because a creator recommended it?
It wasn't as much of a creator, but I just kept seeing the Noor Hammour Sema coat all over my For You page. Like, wasn't one particular creator, but after probably the 5th time I saw it, I was like, my birthday's coming up. I have to buy it for myself.
It's a beautiful coat. Is this the floor length?
Yeah. It's my favorite thing in the world.
It's great. I've clicked through it on many, many times when you've posted it. 'Cause I'm like, it is a gorgeous coat.
It's the only coat that I wear that every person is like, I love it. And I'm like, oh, I love wearing this coat. It's like an instant conversation starter.
I love that. Okay, you're looking at trends. We're at New York Fashion Week. So what have you been seeing?
Brooches, they're going to be everywhere. Had to wear 3 of them today just to represent. But this is going to be the top trend for fall next year. I'm seeing a lot of companies are pinning sweaters. Like we're seeing a lot of capes, but they're pinning brooches on the cape to keep it in place. And then just on blazers, and then military jackets are blowing up right now. Pony hair is going to be huge.
Seeing a lot of pony hair.
Yeah.
What's a trend that you're over?
Naked dressing on red carpets, like the Grammys. It drives me insane.
I loved your Grammys coverage because you're like, I have not been about this for a very long time.
I was going to say, I'm definitely, my opinion might not always be popular, but it's what I feel. And it's just, I miss the glamour in the world. I want everyone to just dress up. Like there's a way to do the naked dressing in a way where it's still glamorous and not just look at me. Like leave something to the imagination.
I love how you'll filter through when you're creating content, and like you'll often bring us into like old world experiences. Or I think of like rooms that are just like full of incredible architecture and detail. And
Love it.
I'm seeing that shift even just as a culture, people becoming more interested in, it's always the pendulum always swings, right? And it's like there was this like kind of strict adherence to like modern and very clean lines, and now it feels like we're going back to more like Baroque and opulence and just more history. I think about like the Ralph Lauren Christmas effect, or the hotel that you just visited. What was that one?
I was just in Newport last weekend for Valentine's Day. And it was just, I was saying last week I felt unmotivated for the first time in a while because it's just a weird in between seasons where I'm not ready to talk about spring yet, but everyone's dropping spring. And just we toured one of the mansions there. It's the Breakers. And just walking in and seeing all the decor, like I just felt like I was immediately back. Mm-hmm. Like it just brings me back and reminds me why I'm posting. One, because I would love to have a home like that someday. But two, like just seeing all the crystals and all of the lace and all these little details. Like I want to start looking for those details on clothing now so I can talk about them. Yeah,
I'm seeing this shift just culturally. And there's always these like micro trends and micro moments, but there is something really big happening right now. I think I point back to what's happening in AI. It's overwhelming, to be honest with you, the deeper you get into it. But from a cultural perspective, we've done studies and found that trust in creators year over year is up 20%. And that's wild to me because people know that this is an industry now. Like what would be pushing trust for all generations up in this meaningful way? And I think it's like people are like craving just being human and being real. And our New York Fashion Week party last night, I got to hang out with you, and the whole thing that I wanted to bring to life there was actually just like the nostalgia of like early social, of where we just like took a bunch of fun pictures together and you'd post it and you'd tag people, and there wasn't a lot more that went into it beyond that. But then you'd wake up the next day and you're like going through the tags of friends and who's friends with who, and you're like finding new people, and it's just like reliably like joyful and inspiring.
Even the candy, like all the branded candy, that was so nostalgic and I loved it.
It was fun. And I actually like, we set the room and space to be fun. Like we had Jello shots, we had pop rocks, we had like, Smartie necklaces. The photographer was doing Polaroids. Like we had Polaroids of everyone in the room stuck to the walls everywhere. And so it was just set to be fun. And it's cool because I look back at the pictures from last night and I'm like, someone even commented on social media, they're like, this party looks like people actually had fun. And I was like,
I was upset because I had to leave early to go to a show. Yeah. And I was like, this is one of the first events in a while where I'm not just like walking in, taking a picture and leaving. Like I genuinely think everyone invited was amazing. And it was nice talking to everyone. Like Lindsay, I love Lindsay.
Oh yeah.
It's so nice.
But I think people are craving like, because with the event, I was like, I'm so sick of the cookie cutter, like throw a logo on the wall, stick some flowers and give them a drink. Like that's not an experience at all.
It's not.
And it's what is like happening over and over and over. So I wanted to like break that cycle with this and just do something different and have fun. But I see it pulling through culturally when you're talking about like going to this hotel and like looking at the details and being inspired by that. Like there's something happening right now where people just want to like live. And I think it's because online is becoming so like 87% of people say they can't tell what's real online anymore. Yeah. And then you're seeing there's this like sameness that happens with kind of, the echo chamber of feeds. And so I think it's cool what you are bringing to life as well and sort of ushering in is like experiencing things. Like I see you more of like, this is how you live in these things, that's what you were talking about. Like, this is what you do when you go skiing. And this is what, like, how you dress to go have this beautiful life. And I think that that's part of your secret sauce and the differentiation.
Even just when I was in this mansion last week, like, I love being able to look up at the ceiling and say, someone actually got on a ladder and painted all of that. They did every single molding. It just grounds you and brings you back to, of course, it's so amazing that we have all the tools now at our disposal and we have AI and we have such a new form of art. But sometimes going back to the classics and realizing what hard work went into it, it makes you feel so much more inspired and want to create something not digitally, even though I have a social media job. Like I want to actually explore and see the world and not just sit on my phone all day.
Yes. No, you're preparing people and like encouraging them to like go have the wine, sit in the room, study the art. It's beautiful. Okay, a few more questions for you before we wrap up. What trend did you put out there that you were like, no one's gonna like this, but I do, and then it worked?
Military jackets.
Really?
Only because they are so loud, and I love them. They are a classic piece. They do come in and out, but they are generally classic. I was not expecting other people to love it. And the video blew up that I posted, so I posted a few more times, and it really is just so crazy how many people are like, where did you get that from? Or how do I get a military jacket? Or why is the Ralph Lauren one sold out?
Yes.
Like it's taking off.
And you're talking about the more like dressed, often has frogs. It has like kind of like the horizontal layering on the front. In Texas, a military jacket can also be like cargo jacket. So just clarifying.
Oh no. Yeah, like sometimes I just saw a company do one with fur wrists, and it's red and it has the gold stitching, and it's just super loud and fun, almost regal in a sense.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. It almost reminds you of like I got my daughter American Girl doll that has like the Nutcracker like dancing outfit on.
Yes,
like it's like reminiscent of that. Oh, I love that. What word would you use to describe your style?
Polished.
I totally agree. Blake, it has been such a joy to get to spend time with you. You've been so generous with just all of the exact details of how you do what you do. And I just love the breath of fresh air that you're bringing into kind of content into this space. Thank you for being here. And if you don't already, go follow Blake, Blake Evin on LTK, on Instagram, anywhere else we need to be.
TikTok. I'm posting my first YouTube vlog this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. I am here
for that. That's going to be so good. You're fun to listen to. But thank you for being here, Blake.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm like, you're such a boss, and being able to talk to you is just, it's such a dream come true.
Oh, well, thanks. You're so sweet. Thank you, Blake.